This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
What, a clock? That's impossible! Holy crap!
Come, and know me better, man, for I am the ghost of Remake's present, and you've never seen the likes of me before.
Willy Wonka?
What?
I have seen the likes of you before. You're Willy Wonka.
Right.
Why do you have a goatee?
Ah! Hair toffee. Care for one?
No thanks, I'm good.
Well, anyway, touch my robe.
Do I have to?
Yes, that's how it works.
Okay, fine. Take me where you will. Whoa, this is still weird!
Whee! That was fun! Welcome, Bob Show, to Disney's remake of Cinderella!
Oh, marvelous. Another updated princess movie that'll completely ignore the point of what the princess's story is supposed to be, and instead tell the story of a firebrand before her time, raging against the patriarchy because that's the only way that female characters can show any kind of strength, isn't it?
We're hunting, you see. It's what's done.
Just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done.
You're right.
Patriarchy? Patriarch?
Papa? Okay, let's move along.
Our movie begins in a bright, cheery, picturesque patch of 19th century France, where we're introduced to little baby Ella and her adoring parents.
Once upon a time, there was a girl called Ella. To her mother and father, she was a princess. True, she had no title, nor crown, nor castle, but she was the ruler of her own little kingdom.
Yes, Ella, which is such a clever go-to name for this girl, has no title, no class, no castle, no nothing. She needed a man to become a princess. But then again, she does live on a chateau because her family is supposed to be rich, so what's even the point of this introduction?
Oh, Guska, you're a house mouse, not a garden mouse, isn't he, Jacqueline? And you mustn't eat Mr. Goose's food. Isn't that right, Mummy?
Do you still believe that they understand you?
Don't they, Mother?
Oh, yes. I believe that animals listen and speak to us if we only have the ear for it.
Yeah, too bad that this movie's declared statement of purpose was to focus on Cinderella herself instead of the wacky shenanigans of her animal friends, so the prospect of Ella talking to her animal friends doesn't really mean much, does it?
Her father was a merchant who went abroad and brought tribute back from all of Ella's subject lands.
Interesting, since the narrator just said that this guy has no title when he's clearly a lord. He comes back from his latest trip of merchant lording with a little surprise for his little lady.
Oh, it's so pretty.
In French, that is un papillon.
Un papillon.
Très bien.
In English, we call this kind of video a review.
All was just as it should be. They knew themselves to be the most happy of families to live as they did, and to love each other so.
But it's a Disney movie, so you know that's not gonna last. Literally seconds after putting her daughter to bed, Mommy Ella instantly falls prey to Disney parent syndrome.
Ella, my darling, I want to tell you a secret. A great secret that will see you through all the trials that life can offer. Have courage and be kind. You have more kindness in your little finger than most people possess in their whole body. And it has power. More than you know.
Years pass after she promises her mother to remain courageous and kind, and her... father? Yeah, that. Asks her if it's okay to start dating again.
You'll recall that some time ago in my travels I made the acquaintance of Sir Francis Tremaine. His widow, an honourable woman, finds herself alone, though still in the prime of her life.
You're worried about telling me, but you mustn't be. Not if it will lead to your happiness.
Do you think I may be allowed one last chance?
Wow, way to imply that raising your daughter wasn't a chance at happiness. She meets her soon-to-be stepfamily, who don't have the best of manners.
You have such pretty hair. Thank you. You should have it styled.
This coming from a couple of girls who grabbed some rather gaudy prints from ye olde Joanne Fabrics.
Lucifer?
Her stepmother-to-be was a woman of keen feeling and refined taste, and she too had known grief, but she wore it wonderfully well.
How long has your family lived here?
Over 200 years.
And in all that time they never thought to decorate.
Huh? Does she somehow not see all the paintings and busts and vases and ornate candelabras and crystal chandeliers? How could anyone look at this and think it's not decorated? Lady Tremaine celebrates their new arrangement with a party, of which Ella couldn't care less.
Wow, look who's having a party of their own. Jacqueline, Teddy, Matilda, greedy Gus Gus. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. What did Gus Gus say?
Lucifer.
So, not only do the animals talk, not only are the animals talking not made into a focal point of the movie, but they also have the animals actually say the word Lucifer? It's Rucify, movie! Come on!
And I'm leaving first thing.
You're hardly back from the last trip.
It's just a few months, my darling. What would you like me to bring you home from abroad?
A rose, like the one in the painting. Bring me the first branch your shoulder brushes on your journey.
That's a curious request.
Well, you'll have to take it with you on your way. And think of me when you look at it. And when you bring it back, it means that you'll be with it.
Daddy Ella reminds her that even though she can't see her, her mother is always here.
She's at the very heart of this place. And that's why we must cherish this house, always for her.
I miss her. Do you?
Very much.
He leaves on his next business trip, and mere minutes later, Lady Tremaine puts Ella into the attic so her own daughters can take her bedroom. And honestly, I'm kind of jealous of her situation. Look at this place! Sure, it doesn't have the common comfort of a fireplace like the other rooms in this totally not rich upscale chateau would have, but there is so much you could do with it! I hate you, Ella! She keeps her chin up as she helps feed her animal friends.
Sing sweet hello. Don't mind if I... What a lovely Chanticleer.
What a lovely Chanticleer? So this movie's in the same continuity as Rockadoodle?
Mornings did not agree with Ella's stepsisters. And they lacked accomplishment in such domestic arts as keeping house. In fact, they lacked accomplishment in any art.
It was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey no dee no.
Don't worry, a little autotune will fix that right up. Life continues on at the Ella house until they receive word of Daddy Ella's death. While Ella is naturally heartbroken, all Lady Tremaine is worried about is how to hang on to their livelihood, and she soon fires the help. I guess we're just supposed to forget that they're still collecting tribute from all the people living on their land? Shh. So with no one else around to do the housework, Ella takes it upon herself to the point where her stepfamily regards her as a servant more than a member of the family.
She had little in the way of friends. Well, her friends were very little. But those friends she had, she treated with an open heart and an open hand.
Your table.
Sharing tea with mice. The Mad Hatter would love you. The Mad Hatter? He's really weird. She keeps herself warm at night by sleeping next to the dying fireplace, which is what inspires her stepsisters to coin the nickname Cinderella.
What's that on your face?
It's ash from the fireplace.
Do clean yourself up.
You'll get cinders in our tea. I've got a new name for her. Cinderella.
Roll credits. Frustrated by her new lot in life, she goes out for a little ride, but soon comes across the prince in the middle of hunting a stag, and when they meet, he introduces himself merely as Kit, who just happens to live in the palace while learning his father's trade. And to be fair, this little white lie makes it considerably more believable that Cinderella would say, "What the f***, bro?" to the stag being hunted. If she knew that this was the prince, it is way more likely she'd just simply let them go on their way.
We must simply have courage and be kind, mustn't we?
Yes. You're right. That's exactly how I feel.
I was raised to be charming, not sincere.
Now that the prince is sufficiently smitten by Cinderella, he demands that the upcoming ball that he's throwing, which was supposed to be exclusively for the sake of meeting eligible princesses and bettering their relations with neighboring countries, be extended to everyone in the kingdom, just so he can have another chance at meeting his mystery lady. Likewise, Cinderella's excited about another chance to meet Kit again.
One gown for Anastasia, one for Gisela, and one for me. À la mode parisienne.
She doesn't know what that means.
Mais bien sûr que je connais la mode parisienne. Et je vais m'en occuper.
Good.
Wow, the French girl knows how to speak French. How very strange. Is anyone else getting Freddy the Frog flashbacks?
Camouflage. Camouflage. Oui, camouflage.
So Cinderella helps her stepfamily get ready for the ball.
My dear girls, to see you like this.
Like a couple of giant trick-or-treat bags. Cinderella comes down wearing her mother's old dress, but Lady Tremaine puts her foot down.
This thing is so old-fashioned, it's practically falling to pieces. Oh, the shoulder's frayed. Oh, it's falling to bits.
It's a ridiculous old-fashioned joke.
Oh, what a bitch!
So it looks as though Cinderella won't get to go to the ball, when all of a sudden she gets a visit from Helena Bonham Carter.
Can you help me, miss? Just a little crust of bread or better, a cup of milk?
Don't shun her! She'll curse you and everyone you know for incredibly shaky reasons!
Who are you?
Who am I? I should think you'd have worked that one out. I'm your hairy dog father. I mean, fairy godmother.
You can't be.
You don't look like Angelina Jolie at all.
You're my fairy godmother.
Cinderella's skeptical at first, but that quickly ebbs away when the fairy godmother shows off what she can do. Take note, people. Cinderella doesn't believe that this hag is her fairy godmother, and she instantly poofs up a little magic to prove that she is who she says she really is. The prince from Beauty and the Beast scoffs at this old lady with nothing to offer but a rose that she picked from his own garden after she crashes his party and brings everything to a screeching halt, and rather than show him that beauty really does lie within, per her statement of purpose, she just curses everyone within a 10-mile radius. Yeah, you're not allowed to lecture people on inner beauty, you sadistic psycho bitch.
Let it go.
I'm sorry, I'll stop! Anyway, the fairy godmother helps Cinderella get ready for the ball, starting with throwing together a coach.
Oh, that trough.
Doesn't really say coach.
No, I'm liking fruit and veg. Do you grow watermelons?
No.
Cantaloupe?
I don't even know what that is.
Cantaloupe is another French word. How do you not know this? She settles on turning a pumpkin into the coach they need, while still inside the greenhouse because this lady's nuttier than squirrel poo. She turns her various animal friends into a couple of servants and horses. Horses who don't keep their comically large mouse ears. Come on, that looks too cute to pass up. And she's casting these spells by saying, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo.
Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo! Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo!
If we're going along with that silliness, why not just go all out and sing the song?
Salagadoola, menchikaboola, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. Put them together, and what have you got? Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo.
Now they have to fix up Cinderella's dress.
Can you mend it?
Mend it? No, I'll turn it into something new.
Oh, no, please don't. This was my mother's, and I'd like to wear it when I go to the palace. It's almost like taking her with me.
I understand. But she wouldn't mind if I cheered off of it? Wouldn't mind a nice blue?
This isn't a minor modification or anything. The color pink is a pretty integral part of the dress here. If you're gonna change it this drastically, you might as well be putting her in a completely different dress. She wants to symbolically take her mother along with her? The dress stays pink, damn it. Then they add the frilly neckline, they give it butterflies. They just ruined the point of Cinderella wearing her mother's dress.
Just a moment! Are these the best you have?
It's all right, no one will see them.
Said no woman ever.
Can you get? Oh, it's a lovely blue.
Do stop whiffing on. Ella, I almost forgot. Remember, the magic will only last so long. With the last echo of the last bell, at the last stroke of midnight, the spell will be broken, and all will return to what it was before.
Midnight.
Midnight.
Doesn't give Cindy a whole lot of time to get reacquainted with her bow. I mean, if the enchantment must be temporary, then why doesn't it last the entirety of the ball? 12 o'clock. There was something else I was supposed to remember about 12 o'clock. What was that?
Go!
On to the Walt Disney Pictures logo! Wait a minute, why aren't they going to the Walt Disney Pictures logo? That is supposed to be Cinderella's castle, isn't it? The ball begins with all the kingdom's creamiest of the crop in attendance. Wow, that sounded wrong. Shh!
Lady Tremaine and her daughters.
The Lady Tremaine and her daughter, the very clever Miss Drusilla and the very beautiful Anastasia.
Who are wearing the latest fashions courtesy of the dumpster behind Party City. Cinderella finally gets to the ball, turning heads everywhere she goes.
Mr. Kit.
It would give me the greatest pleasure if you would do me the honor of letting me lead you through this. The first.
Dance.
Yes, dance. That's it.
They're all looking at you.
Believe me, they are all looking at you.
Oh, thanks, like I wasn't nervous enough before! Hang on. That waltz. It's not an orchestration of So This Is Love, but instead it sounds strikingly like the Sleeping Beauty waltz. It's not the Sleeping Beauty waltz, and this isn't Sleeping Beauty, but they made it sound just enough like the Sleeping Beauty waltz, just so you can say... What? They break away from the ball, and Kit reveals his real identity to Cinderella.
So you're the prince.
And she's completely nonchalant about it. Shouldn't there be at least a little bit of squeam coming from her?
Won't they miss you at the ball?
Maybe.
Wait, why did they dissolve just now? Why didn't they just cut to the next shot? When you have a dissolve like this in the same scene, that usually implies some lengthy passage of time. Did she ask that question and it just took him forever to answer? Maybe.
I've never shown this place to anyone.
A secret garden.
Yeesh, how many other movies are going to wheedle their way into this one? They continue getting better acquainted. On the swing that's large enough to accommodate a princess's billowy skirts. How many princesses has Kit wooed in this secret garden that he's never shown anyone, I wonder? But oh no, it's almost midnight!
Can you at least tell me your name?
My name is... I have to leave. It's hard to explain. Lizards and pumpkins and things.
In the amount of time it took you to say that, you could have given him your name, your address, and invented social security numbers just so you can give him yours.
Wait! Where are you going?
Oh, you've been awfully nice. Thank you for a wonderful evening. I've loved it every second.
My name is Ella. Search for my chateau at the edge of the forest.
Oh, Your Majesty.
Young lady.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, think nothing of it, my dear.
I wanted to say, Your Majesty, your son Kit is the most lovely person I ever met. So good and brave. I hope you know how much he loves you. Excuse me.
Tell your son for me that my name is Ella and I live in the chateau at the edge of the forest. Come on, lady! Let me very slowly try to catch you. Hey, guards, you want to try helping out your prince by trying to stop this girl? The guards do end up chasing her a little later than they probably should have, but she manages to evade them just as the magic wears off. And just like in the animated movie, it's never explained why the glass slippers don't just magically poof away, or revert back to their original non-glass slippery form. But then again, there's no explanation in the original story either, so at least it's remaining true to the source material. Fair enough.
Ella couldn't wait to write down all that had happened, so that she might remember every single bit of it. Just as if she were telling her mother and father about the palace ball and her time with the prince.
Considering this is the first time that we've seen her write anything, this must be a big deal. We cut back to Kit and his ailing father, who would prefer that he marry Princess Salma Hayek for better relations between their respective countries, but Kit has his heart set on marrying the mystery girl he danced with.
I believe that we need not look outside of our borders for strength or guidance. What we need is right before us. And we need only have courage and be kind to see it.
I think I understand what he's saying, in that being courageous and kind is just always a nice way of doing things in general, but you need to be kind in order to see what's right in front of you. That part I don't get. So the king dies as he gives Kit his blessing. Kit then proclaims that he'll be searching for his bride-to-be, and Cinderella runs home excitedly to get to her slipper, but Lady Tremaine beats her to it.
I shall tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young girl who married for love, and she had 2 loving daughters. All was well, but one day, her husband, the light of her life, died. The next time, she married for the sake of her daughters, but that man too was taken from her, and she was doomed to look every day upon his beloved child. She had hoped to marry off one of her beautiful, stupid daughters to the prince, but his head was turned by a girl with glass slippers. And so I lived unhappily ever after. My story would appear to be ended. Now, tell me yours. Did you steal it?
It was given to me.
Given to you. Given to you. Nothing is ever given. For everything we must pay and pay.
That's not true. Kindness is free. Love is free.
Love is not free.
She proposes that she'll let Cinderella marry the prince on the stipulation that she be presented as her governess, she and her daughters are allowed to live in the palace with her, and she gets to tell the young, naive prince how to run the kingdom. Yeah, because she's done such a bang-up job running her own little plot of land.
Best to leave it to me. That way we all get what we want.
No. I was not able to protect my father from you, but I will protect the prince and the kingdom. No matter what becomes of me.
Well, that is a mistake.
No! Why? Why are you so cruel? I don't understand it. I've tried to be kind to you.
You kind to me?
Yes. And though no one deserves to be treated as you have treated me, why do you do it?
Why? Because you are young and innocent and good, and I...
You had me right up until that little bit of Knott's position. What the hell was that?
Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
Tremaine goes to the royal footman, who would also like for the prince to marry Princess Salma Hayek, and tells him who the mystery girl is.
You told no one else?
Not even my own daughters.
You've spared the kingdom a great deal of embarrassment.
And I should like to keep it that way.
Are you threatening me?
Yes.
Are you threatening me?
Yes! She says that she'll keep her secret if she's made into a countess, to which the footman agrees, but Kid is adamant about finding Cinderella. So the search is on, as they pursue every maiden in the land for whoever fits the glass slipper. Except this older woman? That's... bizarre. They won't try to see if this older lady fits the slipper, but they'll go ahead and give a chance to these other two women who are clearly not of Cinderella's body type or ethnicity. Don't be racist. It's not racist, it's logical! They finally get to Cinderella's chateau, and despite Tremaine's attempts at concealing her, the prince finds Cinderella at last.
Who are you?
I am Cinderella.
Which she is proud to call herself, apparently.
I'm no princess. I have no carriage, no parents, no dowry. I do not even know if that beautiful slipper will fit, but if it does, will you take me as I am? An honest country girl who loves you.
Of course I will. But only if you will take me as I am. An apprentice still learning his trade.
So the shoe fits, Cinderella forgives her stepmother, and she and her prince get married before the entire kingdom. Oh great. Was their castle cursed so that it's always winter too?
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
And for some reason they saved A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo for the end credits?
Saligadoola, minchicaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Put them together and what have you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
These two women actually can sing, and they don't even sing in the movie itself? That's just... what the hell is that? That, my friend, was the remake of Cinderella, and like all remakes, it's a humbug. Hey, come on! This movie was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It gives Cinderella a more believable motivation and makes it harder for people to misinterpret her as just being a doormat. It had a more realistically developed relationship between her and the prince. It did a better job of showing that there can be different kinds of love in a fairy tale beyond that of just romantic love between prince and princess, which felt terribly forced in another infamous Disney remake. Lady Tremaine had a mostly believable and kinda sympathetic backstory to her. And sure, I griped about the lack of songs, the animals talking but not really was kind of confusing, and I poked fun at it here and there, but for the most part, this was a really good movie, especially for a remake. And it makes sense that this remake would be as good as it is, considering how it's made by a director who specializes in retelling stories that have already been retold many times before. Who keeps setting these alarms?
Spirit? Spirit? Hello? Okay, not a problem. I'll just walk out of here and out of this dream, and I will wake up and everything will be fine. So, okay.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.